Hi, and I'm Raghad. I'm 20 years old. I'm currently studying a Bachelor of Medical Science, Visual Science, Master of Optometry at Flinders, a second-year university student. I'm originally from Syria and I came to Australia in 2016. I do believe I have a very strong belonging to my country because I lived there for like a really long period of time. I lived 11 years in Syria and then 4 years in Jordan. Looking back, in Jordan and in Syria, we had a very similar culture, so I was able to develop that connection and that belonging to both of the countries. So coming to Australia at a very old age, I want to say not too old, but because I had that vast background information about my culture, I was able to hold on this culture and use it to come to Australia and then learn more about the diversity and more about the cultures in Australia. Because I did believe if I want to live a good life in Australia, I need to learn more about every culture I could possibly learn. Because that would just help me be able to communicate with others, make new friends, make a good living here, and also understand them and understand their actions and what they're saying. So in 2011, there was a civil war in Syria, and I was living back home. So I had to live through the war there, and we lived there for like, I wanna say like 2 years in the war. So we lived there. We tried to stay as safe as we can, but of course there was this night when I thought that would be my last night alive. So my family had to make the hard decision to move out of the country, leave everything behind. I remember the last day in my home, I looked behind me and I could not grab anything from my belongings, and I still remember everything, but at the end of the day, our life, it was the important part. So we had to move without anything. We moved to Jordan, and then we tried to make a living there. It was definitely not a better life than the life we were living in Syria, but it was a safer life. So since I moved from Syria, my main goal was like I need to finish my education. So my education was my main focus, so I didn't really do much in Jordan other than study. I put every single energy I had into studying because I did believe that if I studied hard enough, one day I'll be able to build myself up again. I was 11 years old. We have a big family. We are 5 children. I have a brother, a sister, and then I'm in the middle, and then I have another sister, another brother. So I have 4 siblings in total. All of us were born in Syria. So when the war hit, we were all together. And I do remember some days when we like all stayed in one room, just if anything happened, none of us would be left out of it. So I always wanted to be a doctor. It wasn't surprisingly looking back, because I do know a lot of people says I want to be a doctor just because my parents maybe told me that it's the best way to make money, or maybe it's sometimes people think that being a doctor is the only way to be successful. But honestly, I did understand very well that that wasn't the case. But when I was back in Syria and I saw the war, there was some incidents where we needed medical help, and there were no help. And since then, I decided to be that one person that can give the medical help needed without anything in return. So I really wanted to be that one doctor that can give free care to everyone. You don't have to have a private health insurance or anything. I can be that one person that can help you. So having that mindset, I think I was like 10, 11 years old. So having that goal in my mind was always like that one thing that pushed me to it. I wanted to do it. And every time anyone told me it wasn't possible and you can't do it. And like coming to Australia, I came without any English. So I had to learn English here and with 0 English. And then people would look at me and be like, maybe look at some more achievable goals. Maybe try something else, like maybe do a degree that don't need a higher entrance. it did affect me at one stage. At one stage, I do remember anyone would ask me, what do you want to be? What are you planning? And I would say I didn't decide yet, just to run away from their comments. But inside of me, I always wanted to be a doctor. So I did take the UCAT, but that wasn't a successful hit. Another aspiration I have is my parents. Seeing my parents there, they are my biggest supporters ever. So it was always that feeling that whenever I achieved something, I wanted to just rush back to them and tell them that I did achieve that one small thing. Seeing that happiness in their eyes and how proud they were when they heard, I felt like that was a big thing for me. I always wanted to achieve more things, just to go back to them and look in their eyes and be like, I did achieve something. Because after the war, life took a lot from them. They were in their 40s, and then all of their life, like everything they built up for that moment, was gone. The only thing left was their kids. So I always knew that, and I always knew that they sacrificed a lot for us. So I did have that big support from them, and they were very understanding of your choice. Being successful doesn't mean you need to be a doctor, you need to be a pharmacist. It's just being as successful for them was you need to achieve something. You need to go out, find yourself out there and make a living. Don't rely on anyone in this earth. You always have to rely on yourself. And all of that, having that family, my family there with this mindset, always gave me that strength that I can try new things. I can even fail and go back to them, and they'll be like, it's okay, you tried. I would never like fail at something and go back to them and they will be angry. There was never that case. They always just guided me there. They never pushed me to do something, because I do have that mindset. If anyone pushed me to do something, I won't do it. So I know that don't tell me what to do, because I want to do what I want to do. So I believe if my parents were pushing on me to do a certain thing, I won't be successful at it. I would always want to find my new way. So just that mindset, they let me choose what I want to choose, but at the end of the day, I choose something they're happy with. Because what you need to do as parents, from a perspective of a child, I do believe you just need to give them that basic knowledge of life. Just give your kids like the basic knowledge, the rules for life, and they will figure out the way themselves. So in my past, the challenges I faced as a student, I, as I mentioned, came here without any English. And I remember back home, we learned everything in Arabic. We learned math, science, everything was in Arabic. So I studied there until I was in year 9, and then I had to move out and come to Australia. I came here, I remember the only thing I could say was, hello, my name is Raghad, and that was it. If someone asked me, where are you from? I would be maybe able to figure out they're asking me where am I from, but that was it. So I looked at my family, looked at myself, and none of us spoke the language of the country we're in. So I really wanted to speak it. So I put myself in this situation with like, I had to learn the English. I had to learn it. I learned it in 6 months. Of course, I didn't have the perfect English. And I still do, have a lot of grammar mistakes, mispronunciation, the P and the B. That was a struggle. I did have all of that. So after like 6 months, to like almost a bit of a year, because in the language school, I remember sitting once in a math class and I almost cried on the spot, because the thing we were learning was subtraction, division, multiplication. And I was looking back and I was like, did I just lose 9 years of education, 9 years of hard work? And it was a really push down, as I feel like, how am I gonna catch up? Where am I gonna go now? All of the goals I have. At one point I was like, I won't be able to finish any of that. So I had to learn everything again. Of course, I had the knowledge in my head that 1 + 1 is 2, but then how would I actually demonstrate that? How would I tell the other person that I do understand what you're saying? a lot of the time I knew the answer, I just could not say it. I could not say it. So I had to learn everything from scratch and went into high school. High school is hard enough for people who speak the language. Imagine you don't. I entered high school with my very, I want to say bad English, but it wasn't that horrible. People could understand me. That was my mindset, as long as they can understand what I'm saying. And I remember sitting in one class and always just revising that question I need to ask the teacher. And I will revise, stand up and make a mistake with the pronunciation. It did affect me the first 2 times. I was embarrassed in front of everyone. Everyone was just perfectly speaking the English. But then it does not. I was like, you have to be proud of yourself because you're standing there speaking a new language. Just tell me one person in this room that can speak fluent Arabic. No one. So you have a knowledge that no one has. It's just you developing this new knowledge. So the language barrier was one thing. The other thing was the curriculum. I studied back home with a very different curriculum. So coming to Australia, I had to learn. I did not know what assignment is. I did not know what searching was. I had to learn all of these things. The only thing I had is how to do math. Even science, I lost it because it was in Arabic. So even if I knew what the teacher was saying, I could not just reply back look, I know the knowledge. I had to relearn everything. I had to go back, learn this the matter. That's the basic science. I had to go back and learn it. That was another challenge I faced with my studies. Again, it is hard, but it's achievable. If I did it, everyone can do it. Honestly, if I did it, everyone can do it. Stand there. At one point, I was like, I won't be shy. I would ask as much question as I can. And a lot of the feedback I received from people was like, you ask a lot of questions. And I would say, yeah, I would ask. Because don't be shy to ask questions. Because sometimes the teacher will be speaking really fast and you don't understand. And it's not your mistake that you didn't understand. So stand up for yourself and say, I did not understand. That was one way to overcome not understanding in the class. And that was one of the 2 main challenges I faced in my studies, not the school environment though. First of all, having supporters there is important. Sometimes, even though you have amazing family, you have amazing brothers and sisters and parents, you always need that one person outside of the family that you can trust. If that was on a personal perspective or a personal life thing, so you just go out and talk to that person. I did have my cousin overseas. We haven't met each other since 2012 in December. That was the last time we saw each other. We were kids. And until now, we speak on a daily basis for hours. We do have that connection. Having that one person there is like, oh, today I made a mistake. And she'll be, it's okay. Actually, coming here, she was just telling me what to not do. She's like, don't do that. I know you'll do it. And I was like, oh, you just told me too much. Yeah, having another people on the educational part was teachers at school. I remember I had a teacher, his name was Mr. Ahmed. And he was I always tell him, he believed in me before I believed in myself. He always knew that I had the potential to be successful. He didn't judge me because I stood up there and mispronounced the words. He looked at me as you do have the potential. You can be what you can be. Having more supporters at school, always. We had a teacher. She was always getting us out of that stressful mood because I was a stress ball at school. I always stressed. I did not know how to manage my stress. So I had to have a lot of conversations with multiple teachers that were there for me. Having that guidance at school because a lot of the parents don't know what's going on in the school curriculum. So I always had these people that I can go back to and talk to them for I would talk to them for an hour and they would just listen. I remember I was doing my preferences for junior preferences and I went to him and I was like, I don't know what to do now that I did not do well in my GAMSA. And oh sorry, not the campsite, the yucca. Yeah, I was like, and he always supported me, and he was like, put optometry, and I was like, it's a very high entry, I can't, like, it's not that easy. And he's like, no, do it. You want it, so you can put it. And he was like, that's another pathway. If you want to do medicine, you can still go through optometry. So having these teachers who understand you, it's really important, because at home, as much you can't, like, they don't understand what will happen if, like, let's say you miss this assignment, which assignment you need to work on, what part you need to work on. That's all rely on the teachers. Having that really good environment support at school is really, really important. I do believe that, like, 80% of the reason I'm here today is because of these teachers, and I can't thank them enough. I did have high school visits. So I do remember I went to a certain school, and I looked there and I was like, I don't belong there. I can't. It's just finding that one place. If you want to choose that school, that's the first thing. Choose where you can belong. Choose where you feel confident and comfortable with yourself. I definitely, at my first visit, I did not feel confident enough to walk around. I did not feel comfortable to walk around. You do, at the end of the day, if you're coming from a different culture, even though we have a huge diversity here, but you will feel different, because you're also, especially if you're coming out of a language school as well. It's just finding that one place that you can belong. That's the first thing you need to look at, even before because if you find the place you can belong at, feel confident, feel comfortable, then that support will come. Make sure that place has the right support for you. Do high school visits as much as you can. Ask as much questions as you can. Don't rely on Google search. Ask. Find people and find students, even like randoms. You will be surprised with how helpful people are. You will be surprised of how many people you can find to talk to about the school. Like, you can find a student there to, like, say, hey, how do you find the school? Make a list of your preferences in the school. What do you want? Are you more interested in art, music? Are you more interested in the science part? Are you more interested in more handiwork? Look at this perspective, make a list of what you want, and then look for the school. First of all, the belongings. Second of all is your interest. What is your interest? Some people, I do know, they follow if you have friends there. Yes, it is important, but trust me, you will make more friends. Look for the right school for yourself first. So my parents did not know which school. They did not know, because we were here for a very short period. They did not know. So they did really leave the decision. I did remember I had that, they give you a preference list of which school you want to do. I had this paper, and I went to my parents and I was like, what do I put? They did give me a couple of, like, the schools around me, but I did not know. I didn't know any of these schools in reality. So they were like, okay, so what do you want to try? So it was really hard to get accepted into, like, after school. So it's like, is it called the zone schools? So we had to do it in, like, in our area. We couldn't go out. So that was my first instinct. I was like, okay, we can go to the zone. So the school that they told us about. And then I went there, as I told you. I did not feel confident, comfortable. I did not feel I did belong this. And I did not find any of my interest there, because I entered the math class and it's just, I couldn't. So I went out, and I remember when we first started here, there was the school. They did some community events, so I knew about it. So I went there, had a visit there, did actually talk to people, and I felt amazing. It was like that one, like, first moment, this is it. I want to be there. Even though I did not have any friend there. I did not know any person there, but just looking at it, looking at what does it teach? How does it teach it? You would feel that you're ready, but you're actually not. You would feel that you're really well prepared, because at school, you definitely get a lot of work. Year 12, a lot of stress, but then you enter into uni and it's just a whole new world. It's definitely like it's very different there. It's like changing, it is like changing from primary school to a high school, but here is like, you have a lot of freedom. You can make your own decisions. No one's gonna tell you your next class is math. There's a lot of courses where you can pick up your topics. You pick up your timetable, you organize all of that. Sometimes people think there's no guidance at all at uni, but actually there is. You can find places where like you will ask them and they will guide you, but you definitely rely on yourself. No one is spoon feeding you there. No one, like, they will care about you, but no one cares if you attended the class or you missed it and then you missed the information. Not like the school. In the school, if you, like, let's say you missed your assignment, a teacher will come and talk to you. But at uni, you missed your assignment, you got a 0. There's a new assignment coming up. You have to look forward. You have to read your email, read the SAM, read all of these papers by yourself and learn by yourself. So that's a big push, because like you going from having everything there for you, having all of these people telling you what to do, your math teacher, you have a homework, go out, having that one-to-one like connection with your teachers. While at uni you have basically no one. And then you have to try to figure out the right people. You will figure out the right people. They won't come to you and be like, oh yeah, we're here to help you. You will find some ads, you will find some booklets and stuff, but you have to look for these people. Since the beginning of this year, I did not meet any of my lecturers, the people who give me the lectures. I did not meet any of them because it's online. You can email them, you can talk to them, but unless they are in a practical session or in a workshop session, you won't meet them. So that one-on-one connections there, you will lose that. But just one thing, I wish someone told me. So when you go into uni and you think that, oh, I just lost heaps of my friends. Your friends go out from high school, go into their pathways, having different degrees. You will be alone in that one degree, but trust me, everyone is in the same situation as you. Everyone there in your first year, everyone does not have their friends with them. It's very rare to find someone who went into the same degree with their friends. So it's so easy to make friends, so easy, because like everyone is looking for a friend. So making that one friend there, or like group of friends, and go and asking is a lot of things that will help you for the transition. So I would say I'm a very talkative person. I'm a very social person. I love to talk to people and get to know new people, to know more people. So that personality, I was pretty confident when I went in. Thankfully, I overcome these thing, but I wasn't shy from anything. I was confident from who I am. I had my culture identity. I understood how the people there and their culture would be. So it's okay if someone walk up to me and be like, just as casual as this, like, what is that on your head? Like, it's okay, because they don't know it. It's okay, you won't be shocked. So having that understanding in me, being very understanding and very open to any question, it's okay, they will ask me questions just because I'm a very curious person. So my curiosity, getting to know everyone around me, socializing, everything. I'm not saying if you're not social, you can't make friends, because there's definitely the same type of people as you there. It's really nice when you see a very quiet person there and you start talking and talking and talking, and you see them, like, you start getting their body language, so you just kind of just leave. Or sometimes they will be your best friend, because now it's only you just talking and they can listen really well to them. So you definitely can make friends from like different type of people. But yeah, be aware of that, because I always fall into it. Don't let people bring you down. Never allow the word of a person to bring you down. I would very strongly say that. I still feel bad because at one point I was trying to speak, because I was like, what if I made a mistake? And then I was shy to speak up about my dreams at one point. So don't let people bring you down again. Don't listen to people. They might have their opinion, and at the end of the day, it's their opinion. You can take it, but at the end of the day, don't let it affect you as much as it affected me back then. I wish I did not listen to them. I wish when they told me that no one did it and you should have more achievable goal, it did not affect me, and I did not tell myself like, maybe they're right, maybe I should give up. That I should not have that hesitation. I should be very confident that yes, I might fall down again and again and might make mistakes again and again, but it will go on, it will go. And I will be able to pick myself up again and build that success as long as I had the persistence to be successful. I will reach my goal no matter how hard it is. So don't let people bring you down. I can't even express enough how much they gave me the strength, how much support they gave me, how much advice they gave me. I never like looked at them and they never told me you're not successful. They never felt like I'm very disappointed of you. I did do wrong thing. I'm not the perfect child. I did do mistakes. I did do things that made them unhappy, but they never let me feel they disappointed from me. They always, their support is just like that. Again, if I want to talk about that, they did not push me to it. They were happy with what I'm doing. Until now, I look at my parents, even with my other siblings, they look back. None of my siblings now, any of them interested in medicine, but they support every single one of them. Even my youngest brother, he's very into gaming. So there's like, oh, maybe you can do something with like computers, gamers, and all of that. I love just seeing them, how much they support. It's just like it feels like their only hope is to see their like kids successful, and they express that. It's not just between them. They always express that to us because it's really important to have that communication. I know if anything happened to me while crossing the road, it will be a shock to my parents. I don't think about what will happen to me. I think about what would my parents be feeling at this stage. That's again just gave me that self-control of myself when I'm gonna be in a path that, okay, I might be doing a mistake. I'll go back because I'll think about this mistake as if, okay, how would that impact me and how would that make my parents feel? Just because they're really important to me, not because they're really pushy, but that's because they're important. I don't want to make them feel bad. I don't want to make them sad. I know that life gave them enough of hardship. I don't want to give them an extra one. So having all of that, it helps with my decision making. It helped with my persistence. It helped with everything. It helped when I was sitting down there being like, there's no way I can do it. My dad was always that one person. He's like, no, you can. He did not know how I'm doing at school. He did not know what we're doing at school. He just knew that he had to support me no matter where am I in life. So all of that, and they give me a lot of trust. That trust, you see it, because being the only one that spoke English back then in my family, I had a lot of responsibilities at the age of 16 and 17. I went out there and I was doing paperwork for my family, that like very important paperwork, like bank details, anything. Like my dad, we were standing in the bank and they were like telling him, set up a password, and he was like, can you do it? Like that, like his bank details, everything, that all that trust that they give you, you feel the responsibility to be able to show them that yes, I deserve this chance, I deserve this trust. I did not make you spend your entire life raising me and then being that disappointment in your life. Definitely having these ideas in the back of my mind were pushing me all the time to like do my best, try my best. Even if I failed, I would have to get up again, have a cry, you have a down day, a lazy day, and then I will stand back up and continue and try again, even if I know for a fact that I'll fail again. It's okay. So having them there, I always wanted to try my best with everything. I want to tell everyone, always have a goal. You might fail once, twice, or even more than that. You might be tired, you might make mistakes, you might be embarrassed, but these are just small obstacles in your way. Always remember, there are great things waiting for you. Pick yourself up and try again. With your persistence, nothing will stop you. You will achieve what you want to achieve in life. You will, a lot of stages in my life, I thought that was the worst thing. It won't go away. I'll fail for the rest of my life. But it went. Everything goes away. Life will go on, and you will continue growing. These just opportunity for yourself to learn more and more about yourself. Grow yourself. Don't let these things put you down. As a final word, I want to say, aim to the stars, because if you didn't reach the stars, you will reach the moon. That's it.